4:30. Israel is on the offense to Gaza as the war rages on. UCO's President Todd Lamb is in studio today to talk to us briefly. The cast of Friends are finally speaking out since the death of Matthew Perry, what they had to say. Also, the biggest game in Oklahoma football is coming to an end after Saturday. Ray Robinson has a breakdown of the final Bedlam game. Finally, a small town in Oklahoma is gaining popularity after an interesting traffic stop. All this and more happening right now on UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Mark Lowe.
And I'm Emma Burge. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News. As the war continues, Israeli airstrikes hit an apartment building in a refugee camp near Gaza for the second day in a row. The destruction from the strikes caused many deaths and injuries. The Hamas-ran government said the death toll from today's strike is not yet known. As this was happening, dozens of people with foreign passports have been allowed to leave for the first time since the start of the war 3 weeks ago. Here's what Felipe Lazzarini, Commissioner General of the UN Relief Works Agency, had to say.
We are extremely concerned about the situation in Gaza City and in the north. I heard about the bombing which took place yesterday in Jabania, and again a very high tone among the Palestinian refugees and among the civilians.
We finally made it to November, and according to Wells Fargo's Thanksgiving food report, 10 to 15 pound gobblers are down 29% from last year. Now, that's the wholesale price, but it still has been resulted in a 13% drop in grocery stores. You can thank good old supply and demand for the price break. Farmers raised more birds this year to meet Thanksgiving demand. Also, the price of refrigerated trucking to used transports turkeys is down. Even better yet, the price of turkeys tends to fall further in November when supply is flooded. So you might end up paying even less for your holiday centerpiece this year. Speaking of November, it is Native American Heritage Month, and there was a kickoff event in the Liberal Arts Lecture Hall with speakers and a short film. If you missed it, then don't worry, because there are more events going on throughout the month, like Trivia Night, a bake sale in the Nye, discussion panels, and much more. If you're interested in any of those events, look in UCOR to find more information about those events.
Oklahomans, get your pedals ready for a tour across Route 66. Cycle 66 is a combination of urban and rural bicycling tours that highlights communities in Oklahoma among Route 66. The event starts this Sunday in Edmond at 7:30 in the morning and will have 4 different routes for people with all skill levels. You can register for the event on Cycle 66 website. Expect road closures in Edmond early Sunday morning and into the afternoon.
UCO recently announced they will provide a COVID-19 vaccine clinic for faculty, staff, and students. Appointments can be scheduled for the campus's on-campus clinic from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on November 17th at the Wellness Center. No walk-in appointments are accepted and proof of insurance is required. And if you're planning to go get one of those vaccines, you might want to take a look at the weather. It's been cold the last couple weeks, but it's starting to heat up around here.
Absolutely. Let's head over to Destiny Pittman for our first look at weather. Destiny?
Yes, so today was another cool day. The sun was out and there weren't really any clouds in the sky, but as we can see, the temperature still was not that high. It's currently about 52 degrees out and our high today was around 54 degrees. It's a little windy. The winds are blowing south at about 13 miles per hour, and then the humidity rate is about 34%. And just because of those winds, it does feel a little colder than what it actually is. It feels like it's about 48 degrees out. And then as we move on tonight, we can see that the temperature is going to go down. It's going to be about 36 degrees, so a little warmer than what we have been seeing the previous nights, but it's still pretty cold. The winds are going to pick up tonight. They're still going to be blowing south. They'll be about 10 to 14 miles per hour, and every once in a while we will have those higher gusts of winds that are up to 21 miles per hour. And the humidity rate will stay the same, so it'll still be 34%, and then there is no chance of rain for tonight. And then that is all I have for you guys. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for that, Destiny. And we are joined now in studio by UCO President Todd Lamb. President Lamb, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Emma. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invitation. And I'm nervous. You know, I'm on Channel 4 from time to time. I'm nervous. It's UCO. It's big time.
Well, like we said before, we have the hard part. We're the ones that have to come up with the questions.
Fair enough.
And the first question to you is, how's your semester been so far? First one.
All A's.
All A's? Okay, that's good.
Well, Monica's doing the grading. We have, and I say we because it's a team effort with Monica and me. I think a lot of folks have met me, a lot of folks have met Monica, but that's my wife. And we have so enjoyed our time at UCO. Just been here since July 1. And when we started in July, we knew there was plenty of work to do in the summer, but we knew that the pulse would return, the heartbeat would return when the students got back on campus. And boy, were we right. So it's been so enjoyable to get to meet you, Mark, meet you, Emma, and meet other students, and just get to hear where they're from, part of their biographical sketch, why they arrived at UCO, what they're studying. So it's been a good start. It's been a good semester so far.
Absolutely. Well, we've noticed a lot on your social media that you're out and about on campus. Can you just kind of explain why you like to be out meeting kids so much?
Yeah, well, because we're here. We are all here, and I say we, faculty, staff. We're all here for you too. We're all here for the students. That's why we are here. And I'm a people person. I just love people. And I mentioned already, I wanted to know where you're from when I first met you. I want to know where you're from when I first met you. And every once in a while I can name the high school mascot, which has impressed a few students, not too many. But one, I'm out and about because we're here to serve the students, here to serve the faculty, here to serve the staff and to work with them. But also because I just love people and social media. I felt like we really upped our game when I finally got on Instagram, which was just maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. Because so many students said, "Hey, you're on Twitter," and it was kind of a reference like you're kind of showing your age by being on Twitter or being on X. So we upped our game. We're on Instagram and we post pretty regularly.
Awesome. So what does that mean for you to be interacting with students, faculty, just people on campus, just as a president?
Yeah, well, you hear what the concerns are. So I have lunch with Lamb, and I think you all have heard about that. Maybe you've reported on it here, but roughly about every 2 weeks is the average. It's lunch with Lamb. And students can sign up to go to lunch with me, and I pay for lunch. We meet at Ayers. And so here's a microcosm of what that means. I ask the students, of course, where are you from? Where'd you go to high school? Why'd you choose UCO? And then what's your major? So then I ask them this question. What's your favorite thing about UCO? And for freshman versus a senior, those answers vary a little bit. But then I say this, okay, here's a magic wand. If you could wave it and change one thing about UCO, what would you change? And you just learn about maybe some of the things we need to address, something we might need to provide that we're not providing, and then I take it back to the cabinet and we talk about it.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I know our enrollment's up by 26%. Is that
We have record enrollment for freshmen from year to year.
Yes.
So you got to kind of qualify it. But from last year to this year, the raw number is 1,400. We have 400 more freshmen this year than we had last year, incoming class. And you're right, Emma, it's about 23.4%. So let's go ahead and round up to 24.
Okay.
So 24% freshman increase, and that is the largest increase year to year in UCO's history. Not like in the last 10 years, 25 years, recent history, since 1890 to present. That's the most we've increased year to year in our freshman class.
Well, what do you want, as you go forward as our president, what do you want to see from UCO?
Well, here's what I've been charged with from my bosses. And some of the viewers may or may not know, the president has bosses. And my bosses are the RUSO regents. RUSO's Regional University System of Oklahoma regents. And they charged me with getting our financial house in order. We've got about $9 million budget hole, improving the enrollment, and improving morale on campus. Now, those are some big ticket items, and there's some compartments underneath that, but that's what I'm working on with my cabinet and staff and the provost, making sure we can do that and make sure UCO is here for a very long time to meet students where they are with affordability and accessibility.
Perfect. President Lamb, thank you again so much
for
joining us.
It's already over?
That's it.
Okay.
Man, that was like 5 minutes right there,
Yeah,
man.
flew by.
It did. Thank you again so much
Yes,
for showing
thank
up
you.
today. We really, really appreciate you tuning into the show and staying here as well. We hope you enjoy the rest of it.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Emma.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And this week's temperatures are slowly warming up. What can Oklahomans expect for Bedlam this weekend?
Our very own Destiny Pittman has your full look at weather next. Stay tuned.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. Do I see bluebirds singing a song, talking about blue skies from now on?
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit?
Oh, it'll fit. I got that.
All right.
When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm just going to be here to give you your statewide look at weather for tonight. So as we look across this map, we can see that there are a lot of temperatures below freezing, a lot of 28s, high 20s, and low 30s. So as we start up in the Panhandle, we can see up in Guyman, tonight's going to be about 38 degrees. As we move down, it starts to warm up a little. In the Woodward area, it's going to be about 36 degrees tonight. And as we move into this corner of the state, we can see that Clinton, Altus, Lawton, and Ardmore are all going to be about 31 degrees tonight. And then luckily, Oklahoma City and the Edmond area are one of the warmer parts of the state tonight, reaching about 36 for our lowest temperatures. And then up in Enid, 33, 32 in Ponca City, and then as we move over across the state, we can see Idabel is another cooler part of the state tonight, 29, so below freezing, and then in McAllister, they're right at that freezing temperature, 32 degrees, and then 31 up in Miami. And as we move on, we can see that tomorrow temperatures are going to be warm up a little. It's going to be warmer than what we have been seeing majority of this week. Up in the Panhandle, one of the warmer parts of the state, about 69 degrees for the high tomorrow. 65 for Woodward, and then Clinton and Enid are both going to be about 61 degrees tomorrow. And then over down in Altus, 63 degrees, 62 in Lawton, and then 60 in Ardmore. The Oklahoma City and Edmond area are also going to be about 60 degrees tomorrow. And then as we move on, we can see that this part of the state, Ponca City, Tulsa, McAllister, all are going to be about 61 degrees tomorrow. And then there's going to be 59 in Idabel and Miami. And then lastly, I'm just going to give you your 7-day look at weather. So as we can see, the sun is going to be out for a majority of this upcoming week. We can see that today the sun was out. It was still a little cool. 52 was the average temperature for today, and then 36 is going to be the low temperature, which we will be reaching tonight. And as we move on to tomorrow, we can see the temperature is going to slowly start increasing. So tomorrow the high is going to be 60 degrees, 42 for the low. And then on Friday, we can see that 67 is the high, 51 for the low. And then this weekend on Saturday, the sun is going to be out part of the day, and it's going to be a little cloudy, 71 for the high. This is one of the warmer days, 56 for the low. And then moving on to early next week, 74 is going to be the highest part of the week. So Sunday is going to be 74, highest part, and then 58 for the low. Monday, we can see it's starting to cool down again. It's going to be a little cloudy, 71 for the high, and then 45 for the low. And then on Tuesday next week, we can see that 62 is going to be the high. I know I'm excited for these warmer temperatures we're going to be seeing this weekend. I'm getting a little tired of the cooler temperatures that we've been seeing the past few days. Mark, Emma, how are you guys feeling about that?
I am very excited to see that upcoming forecast because, like you said, I'm sick of the cold too.
Yeah, it's starting to get to me a little bit, but like these roller coaster temperatures like we saw in Guyman tonight, like 29 degrees, then tomorrow 69, 60. Just like a roller coaster, man. It's crazy. It's getting crazy out there. I'm not a fan of it. It's messing up with my allergies for sure. Oh my goodness, it's horrible. Thank you, Destiny. Coming up in social media, Starbucks holiday cups are back.
And the cast of Friends remembers Matthew Perry. Perla Tovar has this and more. Stay with us.
The power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past. to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Welcome back, Broncos. My name is Perla Tovar, and we're going to be diving into the world of social media. The Supreme Court is taking on the issue of government officials, social media use, and the First Amendment. Yesterday, the justices heard two separate disputes that target the same legal concern: when to limit an official's ability to discriminate on the bias of a commenter's viewpoint. The ruling will likely decide when an account is considered personal and not subject to the First Amendment. This could shape how public officials use social media in the future to communicate with potential voters. The court is set to take up several important cases on social media in the upcoming weeks. And Apple says its newest MacBooks Pros and iMacs are scary fast. At an Apple event live streamed Monday night, the tech giant introduced the next generation of processors featuring M3 chips. There will also be some new colorful iMacs, including colors like yellow, blue, pink, and green. The tech giant says the Macs with speedier processing chips will be available starting next week. And thousands of people are still shaken up by Matthew Perry's death, including the executive producer of the show, Kevin Bright, saying Perry's mission was to help others out of their own addiction.
He was on a mission to help people, and that's what he was focused on, I know, speaking to him a few months before.
David Schwimmer, Jennifer Aniston, and Courtney Cox and other cast members came out with a collective statement saying, "We are utterly devastated by the loss of Matthew. We were more than just castmates, we are a family." And calling all New Kids on the Block fans, you'll be going step by step back in time this summer. Donnie Wahlberg, Joey McIntyre, Danny Wood, and Jonathan and Jordan Knight have announced the Magic Summer 2024 tour. It's a nod to their second ever tour in 1990, and they are bringing special guests, including DJ Jazzy Jeff. The tour will run 3 months starting June 14th in Ohio. Pre-sale begins today. And lastly, Starbucks is kicking off the holiday season with the arrival of their seasonal cups. Starting Thursday, customers will receive their hot drinks in one of 4 new festive cups. Each of these cups have a unique name and theme, like the Peppermint Swirl or the Party Plaid. Cups for iced drinks will also feature a new design with playful ornaments and sparkles. The designs will be available in stores for purchase. That is all I have for you guys today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for that, Perla. Coming up on UCentral Sports, the OKC Thunder are back in action tonight.
And the bedroom rivalry concludes this weekend. For now, UCentral's Ray Robinson has more after the break.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome to UCentral Sports. I'm Ray Robinson, and here's your Wednesday sports update. The men's UCO basketball team is one of the preseason favorites in the MIAA, coming off an impressive 2022-2023 season campaign, ranking as number 2 in the conference. You shouldn't expect much to change. They only had 4 seniors last year, so a good majority of the group will be back. The preseason action will begin this weekend as they take on Mercyhurst on Saturday at the Small College Basketball Hall of Fame Classic in Lakeland, Florida at the Jenkins Fieldhouse. The following game will see them take on Cedarville on Sunday. Cedarville finished number 6 in last year's standings in their respective conference. And here's some more info regarding this event. This all began in 2016 and is now a 10-team tournament made to showcase the talent in Division II basketball. Emporia State, a conference rival of UCO, will also be at the Classic as well. 5 games will be played each day of the Classic, so those attending should be in for some good basketball. The Oklahoma City Thunder are currently in their 3rd straight home game. This is where the Thunder will begin to establish an identity at home. With their opening loss against Denver, there's still hope for them to be a great home team this season. But this task that they have tonight won't be an easy one. They take on Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. This team has proven that when they are healthy, they can be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Key word, I said healthy. The Pelicans is a team that's shown it's hard to stay healthy. The injury report has one of their stars in Brandon Ingram as questionable. Jose Alvarado is out, Najee Marshall is out, Trey Murphy is out, and on the Thunder side, Kendrick Williams and Jalen Williams are still ruled out. This game is a national televised game on ESPN, so more eyes will be on the court tonight. Chet Holmgren and Zion Williamson is a matchup that sounds quite marquee, if you ask me. As the UCO football team prepare to take on Washburn, their rankings in the MIAA still continue to rise. They have now moved up to top 4 in passing in their conference. They average 244 yards a game. A top 5 team in passing and rushing should be enough to beat a conference winning list Washburn. Make sure you catch them this Saturday at the Chad Richardson Stadium. UCO football won't be the only college football going on at that exact same time. If you're from Oklahoma, I'm sure you've heard of the Bedlam football game. And this game is by far one of the most anticipated. It's the final Bedlam as it looks for now. OU will make the move to the SEC next semester. This game will be a very emotional one for all Oklahomans. The Oklahoma Sooners will take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They go into this series with a total of 117 games, with Oklahoma leading with 91 wins to Oklahoma State's 19 wins and 7 ties. It's also important to note that this game also has Big 12 championship implications. Many teams in the Big 12 have similar records, such as these Oklahoma teams. And guys, with Bedlam coming this week, I think, Oklahoma, it's a state thing for it to be a house divided. Who are you guys going for this year?
I was born and raised a Sooner fan, and that's who I'm still rocking with. Don't get me wrong, I love Oklahoma State. A lot of my friends go there, and I'll always root for them as long as they're not playing OU. But this week, it's Boomer Sooner all day.
Absolutely. We're a house divided in my family. My dad and sister are OSU fans. My mom and I are OU fans. I'm a Bronco through and through, but on Saturday, Boomer Sooner. That's all I got to say. Thank you, Ray. Coming up after the break, a 2-year-old in rural Okarche, Oklahoma went viral this week after an interesting ride.
And Destiny Pittman has your last look at weather when we come back. Stay tuned.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back. A 2-year-old in rural Okarche, Oklahoma went viral this week after she had a nice escort throughout town.
You know that sinking feeling when you notice flashing lights in the rear view?
Hey, look behind you!
Well, maybe it's not quite so sinking when the driver's only 2. What did you say to her when you got out of the car?
I asked her if she had a driver's license. At that point, she had her mouth full of toothbrush, so she wasn't too interested in talking.
Yup, that's a toothbrush in Rose Fern's mouth. The siren noise was added later so as not to scare Rose. Okarche, Oklahoma has a population of about 1,200 residents, but after this video posted by Police Chief Forrest Smith went viral, well, thanks to Rose, the world now knows Okarche.
She got pretty famous overnight.
Relatives called the chief to come watch Rose test drive the pink convertible she got for her birthday. You didn't even give her a ticket for BWD, brushing while driving?
I'm sure most parents would be excited for their kid to be brushing their teeth while driving.
She's starting young with her first brush with the law. Ginny Mose, CNN.
That little girl had her priorities in
so
order.
cute.
Have to always brush the teeth whenever you're driving.
So
always
cute.
got to look great. We're going to send it over to Destiny Pittman for one last look at weather. Destiny?
Hi, I'm just going to give you guys some weather headlines to keep in mind for the next few days. So starting tonight and tomorrow, we are going to have some high winds during the evening time, so just be safe. And then starting tomorrow, the temperatures are going to be warming up. So I know I'm happy we're going to be getting a little break from those colder temperatures. And then lastly, just a fun fact of the day, there are about 8.6 million lightning strikes per day. And then that is all I have for today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Destiny. Well, I know that the lightning strikes, we had some in Ponca over the weekend when the rain was coming through. I wasn't really, and thunder, which I wasn't really expecting because it was so cold.
Yeah, it's in October. You're not expecting these storms to come through, but at least that weather is starting to look like it's going to warm up.
That's the best part of the entire week coming up.
Absolutely. That is unfortunately all the time we have here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of UCentral News. Signing off for now, I'm Mark Lowe.
And I'm Emma Birch. Have a good night.